1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and...
I'm Rod Serling. Remember your first real job? Remember the interview, the first day, the first mistakes, the first successes? Of course you do. Now imagine that the whole world is brand new to you. Imagine that you're starting out again. These films are for anyone who never had a job. Anyone who doesn't know how to handle a good job. They aren't fiction. They were filmed in the real world. And they capture real feelings and anxieties and frustrations. These films are a realistic guide for the innocent beginner. What's expected of him in a work situation? How might he handle himself in a work routine, a stress situation? What if he's anxious and unsure? He'll discover in these films that he's not alone. In this series, the new worker will experience the human reality of an organized work structure. He'll see ambition, individuality, self-confidence, job discipline, and personal communication demonstrated, explained, and most importantly, encouraged. These films can provide maximum impact if used as supplemental aids to existing training and indoctrination programs. And because of their objective character, they permit the transmission of very valuable experience without the obvious constraints of personal confrontation. Teacher to pupil, employer to employee, supervisor to subordinate. Not everyone can read or assimilate the subtleties of the work environment. Not everyone can understand work objectives, but anyone can watch a film. They called yesterday, said they had a job for you. Told you to come in this morning. For the first time today, you're going to work. A brand new job. Is there something you should be prepared for? Is there something you should know that you don't?
That first day I was waiting, sitting in an office and waiting and wondering. I didn't know what to expect.
Yes, I remember the first day on my job quite well. In fact, I was very eager to go to work.
We were going to meet everybody. It was scary.
The first day on my new job, I was petrified.
I was nervous because it was the first time I worked with a big company.
I was afraid. I was basically afraid.
Scary. Everybody looked like they knew what they were doing, and I felt like I would never know how to do the things they were doing.
I was so frightened. I just typed all day. My fingers got so sore.
In this new job, they were all people of all different nationalities, races.
When I came in, I was very nervous.
They looked very hostile, but I soon found out that they weren't. So they do try to make you feel at home right away.
A little scared, but it was also exciting. It was my first job.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all.
So many people here, and you don't know who's who. It was like the first day in school.
It was kind of hard, You have all those papers to sign, and it is confusing.
It turned out okay.
As you head for that first day's work, you wonder, what will your supervisor be like? Will you get enough time to get the hang of things, to learn your job well?
Everybody knew what they were doing and where they were going, and I felt lost and self-conscious. I didn't want to bother anybody.
I talked to some guy the first day, and I didn't understand a word he said.
Oh, yes, I made mistakes.
I'm a questioner. I'll ask, and anything I don't know, I'll ask.
Must have made 1,000 mistakes.
I asked a lot of questions, but that's how I learned.
Excuse me, could you please help me? I'm new here and I
only had a week's training.
I'd like to help you, but I'm not in this section. I don't understand what you're doing.
When you come in, you really don't know anything. You just gotta feel your way around.
I accepted a collect call when I wasn't supposed to, but they're real nice to me about it.
Are you having a problem?
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find this.
Here, let me see.
Certainly I made mistakes, but everybody was helpful.
Well, here's what's wrong. You're looking in the bi-monthly section of the book, and you should be looking in the monthly.
When you make mistakes on a new job, you need people to help you out.
One other thing. You have the wrong book.
The telephone. At home, you use it all the time. But in the office, it's different. What are you supposed to say when the phone rings?
I can't talk to you now. I've got too much to do. No. I've got too much to do. There's all this work here.
The telephone? It's different from the phone at home, I guess because it's business.
Yes, sir. I believe he stepped out to lunch. He should be back in about 30 minutes. May I have him return your call? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. We'll try.
Some people call just because they want to talk.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, he's gone to lunch now. May I have him return your call, please? Yes, sir. Just as soon as he returns. Thank you.
You can't get any better. I want to talk to your supervisor. Do you understand me? I'm absolutely furious now.
Well, he was upset. He wasn't upset at me, but I was the only person he could get a hold of.
I really want to know about this. Now, will you get it together, please?
Oh, but, sir... No, I'm sorry, Mr. Hardy. He's not here right now. He stepped out. He'll be back in about 30 minutes. Yes, sir, I believe he did. Thank you. I wish he'd hurry up and come back.
It takes time, but you get used to it.
So many things to think about. Like, what would happen if you did something wrong? Make a mistake or got to work late, and your supervisor got on you for it. Everybody'd be watching. You'd feel like an idiot.
Alan, this is Mrs. Simmons. Would you come in here for a minute? I'd like to talk to you about
Well, the first time I was called into the supervisor's office, I thought I was finished.
I was unknowing as to what was going to happen.
And I did an awful lot of trembling because I had no idea what it was going to be like.
I don't want to talk about it.
And the first time I was called into the office, I was just flabbergasted. I was utterly embarrassed. I wanted to go home right then.
It was just terrible.
You're in for it now, or what happened this time, or get your check on the way out.
I was expecting the worst.
What did I do now? Scared.
Petrified.
Nervous.
What's going to happen?
Ellen, this is the correct form and the correct way to do it. And if there's anything we can do to help you,
It wasn't bad.
well, and I want to do everything I can. Alan, the only way you're going to learn is to ask questions.
And where you'll be working, what about the people? What will they be like? Will you make friends? After all, everyone there is going to be a stranger to you.
I have a thing. I try not to judge people when I first see them.
Would I fit in with the people and would they like me?
They were all strangers.
There was no one in the office at all that I knew.
So now I try not to judge people when I first see them.
It was rough for a while. And then when everybody laughed, I thought they were laughing at me.
Sorry. Oh, that's okay. There were so many people, conservative people, in-between people, freaked out people. Would you like to come and sit with us?
The people I worked with were very nice people.
There are so many different kinds of people here, and most of them are young.
Girls, I'd like you to meet Gab. Miss Barbara, Lynn, Chris, Rosemary, Kathy, and Lucy.
Hi, Gab. Hi.
Today your first day?
Yeah,
it is.
Where do you work?
In balancing. Nervous?
Do you like it?
Yeah, I really like it.
bet you're glad it's break time.
A couple of the people there I considered a bit snooty, maybe. But after you get to know them, and just to break the ice, the new ice, it was, I guess, they turned out to be quite nice people. I'm close friends with a couple of them now.
Everybody's new once, so it's okay.
Finding what I did find in space, I had to run all the way upstairs.
The friends you make and the people are what really makes the job.
Before you know it, your first day is over. A hodgepodge of faces, words, and places. When you think about it later that night, some things begin to fit into place. You remember how nervous you were at the beginning of the day, but were so busy you forgot all about it. And how easy it was once the supervisor had shown you how it was done. How you began to learn to use the tools of business, like the telephone. How your supervisor told you not to worry because she expects everyone to make mistakes when they first start. That's one of the ways to learn. How people went out of their way to be friendly and to make it easy for you. And now this day's over, and you're looking forward to tomorrow.